What's up, guys? I'm DK, and you're watching the first installment of Pro Wrestling What If, the series where I look at the different what if scenarios as terms of the world that we call professional wrestling. And as we are on the road to WrestleMania 40, I thought that the perfect way to kick off this series is talking about something that happened 10 years ago.
A third and five to the Undertaker! Brock Lesnar into the cover, hooks the leg, the streak is over.
At WrestleMania 30 in 2014, Brock Lesnar had faced The Undertaker and ended his undefeated streak, making it 21-1. Paul Heyman would constantly brag about Lesnar being the 1 in 21-1 for months to come. This would lead to Brock Lesnar having a one-on-one match with John Cena later on the year at SummerSlam and defeating him to become the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Lesnar would hold on to the title until WrestleMania 31, where his match with Roman Reigns became a triple threat match following Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank cash-in, in which Rollins was successful with Reigns taking the fall. As this all happened, Undertaker would not be seen on TV until WrestleMania 31, where he was challenged by Bray Wyatt to a match in which Undertaker would successfully defeat him. Undertaker would continue to wrestle sporadically until his Boneyard match with AJ Styles at WrestleMania 36 in 2020. With the recent Vince McMahon controversy and Brock Lesnar's name being tied to it, it seems like WWE is slowly starting to erase Brock Lesnar from history. So with the power of hindsight, it makes us wonder, what if Undertaker actually went over on Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30, which was the original idea before things switched the day of. So of course we have to go to WrestleMania 30 where the match happens, and in this case The Undertaker would defeat Brock Lesnar and become 22-0. And I think once The Undertaker would go 22-0 at WrestleMania, it would be exactly like we seen with the actual timeline, in which we do not see Undertaker until the road to WrestleMania 31. Now that the streak is still intact, does this mean that at WrestleMania 31, we finally get the dream match of Sting versus The Undertaker? I still think that Bray Wyatt does challenge The Undertaker to a one-on-one match at WrestleMania 31. Although this time when it comes to the build-up, I think that The Undertaker, obviously because he still has the streak intact, he actually would be appearing on different episodes of Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown to help build up the feud with Bray Wyatt, instead of Bray Wyatt carrying the feud all by himself. And because the streak is still intact, is Bray Wyatt the one that ends up ending the streak for The Undertaker at WrestleMania 31? I still think it's going to be the same result, that Undertaker does win the match. He extends the streak to 23-0 at this point. I just kind of feel that Vince McMahon wouldn't have had faith in a guy like Bray Wyatt to end the streak. Because Brock Lesnar didn't end the streak at WrestleMania 30, I feel that there's no need for those two matches at SummerSlam and at Hell in a Cell respectively. However, the only place that I feel that Undertaker would still wrestle at is at Survivor Series that year, considering that it is the 25th anniversary of The Undertaker's debut. WWE, they make up a whole thing about Undertaker celebrating 25 years and that he would compete at the event to celebrate that monumental occasion. And who answers the challenge to face The Undertaker? Bray Wyatt. Bray Wyatt wants to make sure that he embarrasses The Undertaker on his 25th anniversary as kind of revenge for him not being able to end the streak at WrestleMania. Of course, in the real timeline, The Undertaker had teamed up with Kane to face the Wyatt family in a tag team match, but in this case, I am changing it to a singles match between Bray Wyatt and The Undertaker. And of course, The Undertaker would accept Bray Wyatt's challenge, but under one condition, is that the two would fight in 8 casket match, a match that is well known with The Undertaker. So here's Survivor Series 2015. It's Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt in a casket match. Things are going pretty decently until the run-in of the Wyatt family happens. Luke Harper, Eric Rowan. But then in this timeline, this is where we introduce the newest member of the Wyatt family, Braun Strowman. In the real timeline, Braun Strowman, of course, debuted in the summertime, but I would save it for here, where he makes a huge impact by attacking The Undertaker and costing him the casket match to Bray Wyatt. Yes, Bray Wyatt defeats The Undertaker and embarrasses him on the 25th anniversary of his debut. So at this point, we don't see The Undertaker until close to WrestleMania 32. The Wyatt family at this point is running roughshod. You could probably have that match they ended up having at TLC 2015, where it's the Wyatt family versus Team ECW. You have all of them competing in the Royal Rumble match, and even having, I believe, the face-off that there was with Bray Wyatt and Brock Lesnar to kind of tease that match for WrestleMania. Then we go to the final pay-per-view before WrestleMania that I believe was Fastlane, and you actually still have that same six-man tag team match. And I believe in the original timeline, the Wyatt family had lost that match. However, in this case, I would book the Wyatt family to win this match. And after the match, the Wyatt family starts attacking Kane, and as Bray Wyatt is about to go set up the sister Abigail, all of a sudden, The Undertaker shows up. He shows up for the first time since being put in the casket at Survivor Series, and he helps out his brother Kane against the entire Wyatt family. And then it's all set in stone. For WrestleMania 32, we have the Brothers of Destruction versus the Wyatt family, and this time around, it's actually not the tag team match we've seen in the real timeline at Survivor Series. It's actually going to be a 4-on-2 handicap match, but it doesn't matter for the Brothers of Destruction because they are confident on taking on all 4 members. And when it came to the casket match at Survivor Series that I didn't have really anything happen afterwards, considering that I feel like Vince McMahon wouldn't have had this idea at this point going into the road to WrestleMania, because if you guys remember, WrestleMania 32 was the card that could have been one of the greatest of all time had there not been so many injuries of top stars like John Cena, Randy Orton, Seth Rollins injured his knee before Survivor Series. So many top stars that could have had so much star power going into this WrestleMania were out with injuries, so WWE had to really come up with a card to meet expectations for the expected 100,000 people in attendance. And when it comes to having this match at WrestleMania, there is so much at stake. Of course, the streak is still on the line. The odds are against the Brothers of Destruction when it's 4-on-2. And not only that, it kind of gives a sense of fear that the streak is really in jeopardy, considering that there is a chance that the streak could end because Kane takes the fall. If this match were to have happened at WrestleMania 32, it definitely would have been the best option for all 6 of these wrestlers going into this WrestleMania. Because in the real timeline, the Wyatt family didn't do anything besides a segment with John Cena and The Rock. And not only that, Eric Rowan had competed in a 6-second match against The Rock. Kane ended up competing in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, where he was the runner-up, being eliminated by Baron Corbin. And The Undertaker had so many different possibilities for matches. I think his original match was supposed to be against John Cena. However, John Cena got injured, so his replacement match was him versus Shane McMahon inside Hell in a Cell, which I felt was a bit pointless, considering that I feel like no one in their right mind had any faith that Shane McMahon could defeat The Undertaker inside Hell in a Cell. And at this point in time, Undertaker, with the way that his body is going, should not be competing in any more Hell in a Cell matches. So when it comes to the handicap match, it is not an elimination style match because we really need to make it feel like the Wyatt family has a huge advantage against the Brothers of Destruction. But in the real timeline, Luke Harper would actually suffer a knee injury weeks before WrestleMania, thus adding him to the list of injured superstars going into WrestleMania and now making this match a 3-on-2 instead of 4-on-2 handicap match. And I'm sure in the match there's gonna be ways that The Undertaker and Kane will even the odds. They'll probably have a spot where they double choke slam Braun Strowman through a table like they did at Survivor Series 2015 in the real timeline, in which in this match I would book the Brothers of Destruction defeating the Wyatt family, overcoming the odds, and with the Brothers of Destruction winning, I would probably have Kane and Undertaker both do a tombstone and getting a double pinfall, that way creating a nice WrestleMania moment to extend the streak to 24-0. And regardless of the result, whether it was the Brothers of Destruction or the Wyatt family ending the streak altogether, I think this would have been a cool moment to have at WrestleMania, since we never had the Brothers of Destruction tag team at WrestleMania up until this point. I would have The Undertaker retire right here in his home state of Texas in front of 100,000 people with the streak intact, and I feel like not a lot of people would be mad about the idea of Undertaker retiring with the streak still intact. However, I will mention that if you are a person who wanted the Undertaker streak to end at some point, then I'd probably say the Undertaker has one more match left in him for the following year at WrestleMania 33 against Roman Reigns, and it would be the same exact result as the real timeline. Roman Reigns defeats the Undertaker, and he is the one that actually ends the Undertaker streak, becoming the one in, I believe at this point, 24-1. That is all I have for this very first installment of Pro Wrestling What If. Let me know down below what you think would have happened if Brock Lesnar didn't end the Undertaker streak, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you don't, then you will
rest in peace.